Hey guys, it's Joey. Just wanted to show you guys the sump that I got going on here. Everyone's making sump videos, so I thought I would just join in, show you my sump, show you the setup under here. Far from completed, but I'd say, it's doing alright so far. So let me kind of walk you through the flow. First off, the sump is a Trigger Systems Emerald 34 sump. Alright, so over here we have my drain lines. We have a full siphon, an open channel, and an emergency. If you're not familiar with those, a full siphon has the majority of the flow going through it, while the open channel allows it to adjust slightly up and down, and then takes a little bit of the water flow and allows the whole system to run more silently, plumbing system. And then the emergency runs into this chamber, so if that is ever running, I know that something is wrong. So those drain into this small chamber, which flows over into that chamber right there. I have a dirty filter pad in there that I didn't pull out for the video because this is real life and not some polished video for you guys. So I run the filter pads instead of the filter socks because filter socks are the worst as far as cleaning and stuff like that. I run the Peaky Filters. I'll put a link in the description where you can find those Peaky Filters. Those are super good. You just cut them up and then you're done. You take it out, throw it, good to go. No hassle of the filter socks. Then we go into the Skimmer Chamber here. We have the Skimz SM161, which is really undersized for this system now, but with the stock I have in it now, it's doing good. It just started really getting back to normal. There were a whole bunch of nano bubbles in here that were forming, but all of a sudden, late Sunday night, it just kind of snapped back into gear. And as you can see, it's getting a little bit wet, but there's a lot of stuff going on in this tank right now, so no big deal there. We have a probe section over here, just running the pH probe, and then down below it here we have the pump running to carbon reactor, which is now running the correct way. So if you follow this white line up here, this is the intake. If you were to look on top of there, it says in. And then we have some carbon in there. What kind did I just change this to? So I just changed from the ROX carbon to the kind of bigger granulated carbon. Just BRS brand, nothing special here. Then we go into this chamber through this little fish. Then we have our little prisoner right here. This is Doe. He's a prisoner. He's actually more like a refugee, actually. He was getting harassed by the female clowns. They were bullying him, and I saved his life, so I'm not a big deal or anything, or hero, but, I did save his life. Now he's going to have his own tank coming out, so. I do have an Algae Scrubber that I can plumb into here, but I don't really need it right now. The nutrients are running at 0, so, until I decide that I really need it, I'm not going to throw it on there. I do have it plumbed within the manifold for it whenever I feel like doing that. We also have in here 2 urchins. The other one is right back there. They do a good job, I guess, keeping the sump clean. Someday I'll move them into the display, but we do have a little bit of stagnant water that forms in this chamber. I've seen a few people get these little tiny pumps, and that might be a good idea to just kind of get things going. The skimmer return kind of helps to agitate this chamber. So then it flows down here. I could add another pad here, but that's just one more thing I need to change, and I'm lazy, so I'm not going to do that. I took out the little racks here, so it just goes down, and then it goes into the return chamber, and then to the return pump. It's a pretty complicated setup overall, so if you want to replicate it, I would definitely suggest contacting me, a professional, so that you can get it done correctly. One more thing, or a couple more things actually to touch on as well. We have back here the Tunzi Osmolator. I don't know what the number is, like 3155. That sounds about right. It has the primary optic eye and then the secondary float switch there. Temporary setup, of course. It's running to this 20-gallon mixing container. And I put a link in the description where you can find that as well. As for the return pump, this is the Varios 8. I have it running on 4 out of 5, so about 80%. And that is plumbed, as I showed you earlier, to 3 manifold sections there. Eventually, I will set this up right, and I will get the carbon reactor hooked onto that one. And I will put maybe UV sterilizer right there, and then I'll leave this one open for if I ever decide to put on that algae scrubber. And right here is some of the Peaky Filters I was referring to. They have kind of a coarser side right on top, and then attached on the bottom is the actual pink, and where they get their name, Peaky Filters. Very clever naming. And that's kind of a finer side. So when you insert them, put them white side up. But let me back up here, guys, and give you a full shot here without putting any advertisements or end screen elements in the way. And I'll save those end screen elements for I think right about now, where I show just a last look at the tank and let you guys know that you know, it's pretty alright setup. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.